See, I heard the beep, so we should be okay. You guys should be able to hear me. Hey, what's going on, party people? How's everyone doing today? It's definitely a great pleasure to have you guys here. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer, maybe I should get a little bit closer to the mic. Essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer is that I help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. Another way of saying this would be I help you to become Christ like or Krishna like, Buddha like. I mean, it's technically the same thing as you attaining your highest level of consciousness because technically, what you see, let's just say someone like Jesus or Buddha, if you know anything about their story, what you'll see is you'll get to see where they came from in terms of how they grow, the trials and tribulations that they had to go through, and how they evolved. So you technically get to witness their whole upbringing, pretty much. We don't know too much about Jesus' upbringing, but we know enough in terms of, I mean, how he used to question a lot of things, how he was interested in the Word of God. Do you see what I'm saying? And you'll see a lot of you guys too, just so you know. I could definitely speak for myself in terms of, I was always attracted to that kind of stuff. So again, becoming Christ like or Krishna like, what that is just anybody who has attained their highest level of consciousness. Now, in this channel, to give is to receive. What we do here, obviously, is still going to be the same. The baseline, I mean, the purpose is still the same, which is to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. However, the method that I use here is just a little bit different. So, what I do here pretty much is that I use a lot of quotes, and through those quotes, I help you to expand your mind. Now, why do I even talk about quotes? Why do I even choose quotes? Well, quotes to me are pretty much what I call the power of words. So when we're truly talking about the power of words, to me, it's being displayed and revealed through quotes. Meaning, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, and this is what a lot of people do, even on Facebook or Instagram. You would have your certain quotes, and you would post them. But most importantly, if you ever come across any type of quotes, you know how powerful they are, and you may not acknowledge how powerful they are, but you have experienced it. Meaning, you may have seen a quote, you may feel inspired, or you may feel motivated, or you may be just enlightened. But nevertheless, you get to enjoy, or not necessarily enjoy, depending on the quote itself, but depending how responsive you are to it. But most importantly, the one thing you do for sure is that there's a reaction from you because you get to witness how the words are pretty much acting out on you. And that's what you see. Let's just say, have you ever noticed when people go to church and they go like, "Hey, that's right, preach, keep talking," and that is their reaction to the word that is acting out on them. You hear certain things, and it makes you feel a certain way. So the thing about quotes that I realized for me personally, it's first of all, it's how things are being said. You'll see quotes, proverbs, let's just say, um, poetry, lyricism, however you like to put it, anything that has that kind of structure in terms of not necessarily lyricism, but how things are being said. So that's what I realized. When it comes to the power of words, it really comes down to how things are being said. And that's what makes the difference. So if you look at quotes, proverbs, poetry, respectively, I mean, they're all different, and that's how we can identify this is poetry, this is you just writing lyrics or whatever the situation is. and even with quotes, or proverbs, right? So we all could tell the difference, but yet the the main thing that I realized for me is how these things are being, how they're being said. So to me, that's when I realized when we're talking truly about the power of words, it isn't necessarily the meaning of a word. I know a lot of people always talk about, words are powerful. What you say, yes. I'm not saying no. I'm not taking anything away from that. However, I mean, I'm not sure if it's the word in itself that is, I mean, then now you're talking about, you had your intention in it. You're talking about how, you are pretty much manifesting through your understanding. Now you're just using those words. Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, that's not truly the power of words. When we're talking about the power of words, the words in itself is fucking you up. It's truly how you put it together, but most importantly, the wealth of wisdom that is contained in those statements. It's just like it's what I'm saying. For me, it's like I'm a white flag. Like, hey, what I'm saying. So I'm saying that to say, truly, when it comes to those quotes, that's what I call the power of words. And the magic in it is how it's being said, because the how it's being said, that's how you're being triggered, meaning it has the ability to somehow, not triggered in a sense, not in a bad way, but what it does to you is it captures your fucking attention without even you noticing, without even you saying whatever the fuck you're saying. It does what it does. So, like, to me, that is the power of words. Like, you hear something and it somehow, like, got your attention. Like, I mean, there's no if and buts. It's mandatory. It's like whoever read this is gonna hit you that way. And that's what happens to a lot of us when we come across a quote. Although we didn't necessarily, think that we were going to react a certain way, but the quote in itself will talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of the words. Oh, that's what I call power of words. Whatever the fuck. But anyway, so the number one thing is how things are being said. And then, of course, now it makes you a lot more receptive. And the way this shit's happening to you, you don't even know. I mean, you're not even conscious of what's taking place. And that's what makes it, to me, when we're talking about power. Now that is some powerful shit, because the way, and that's what, and us too. Like, I know for me, especially, well, obviously I am a speaker. This is what I'm doing. I came across that. I come to understand that, and I also come to understand it's not necessarily what I'm saying, but it's how I'm saying what I'm saying. So that's where the magic is, and that's what, power of words. I mean, to me, that's the key. But in addition to that, when it comes to those quotes, those proverbs, you know, um, I mean, when we're getting into how powerful these things are, I mean, we're talking about the wealth of wisdom too. So at first, it bypass your conscious mind, gets you to, captivate your mind, and then now it makes you open up pretty much by being more receptive to what else, or what is, or other things that could be being said in those statements. So to me, that is hands down, that is powerful, that is anyway. That's just what I call the power of words. So that's what we do here. To give is to receive. So we use a lot of those quotes, and then I delve into what's not being said, but it's also being said, because that's the thing about those quotes. There's a bunch of fucking wisdom that is hidden in these things, and it's like, and having the ability to unpack it. That's what we do here. So, and one last thing too that I also wanted to mention about, those quotes or the power of words. It's almost like, I mean, outside of all of that now, and that's why I always tell people too, this is the only shortcut that you'll ever have in life. And what that means pretty much is listening to those quotes, gives you insights. And also, I mean, because of that, you don't necessarily have to go through whatever, because in most cases, a lot of us will learn by going through, the fucking experience, right? Or, but the thing with those quotes is that, you don't have to go through, that particular experience, but yet it allows you to have the ability to retain, the lesson out of those experiences. I mean, out of those quotes without going through the experience itself. So that's the smartest thing you can ever do for yourself, just so you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only shortcut you will ever get to, if there's any. But anyway, as a spiritual healer, that's what I do in this channel. And while we're talking about this, check out my other channel, which is Lespri. Ultimately, it's the same thing. I do the same thing in terms of helping you to attain your highest level of consciousness. However, on that other channel, I just, go a little more crazy. I do smoke and drink and do all that shit. I approach it a lot more, a lot different. Whereas in this channel, we use the quotes and build from there, if that makes any sense. Okay. But anyway, and disclaimer, well, when it comes to quotes, especially for me, when it comes to wisdom, like I always tell people, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. If a 5-year-old is telling you the truth, shit. If a baby's telling you the truth, it doesn't make the truth any lesser than that because it's a baby saying it or it's a toddler telling you the truth. The truth is the truth. And because of that, a lot of my quotes or the quotes that I use in this channel, they derive from different sources. Nigga, please, like I'm not, boxed or confined to one thing. I'm confined. If there's anything that I'm confined to, it's the truth. And guess what? The truth always sets me free. So therefore, I ain't confined to shit. But as a disclaimer, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. So a lot of those quotes, I use quotes, let's just say, from Christianity, from, I don't know, Masonics, Buddhism, Krishna, it doesn't matter. But the one we're going to be talking about is another Buddhist quote, because I believe the last one I talk about what was that. But this one, I definitely want to touch on it. When I saw that, I'm like, okay. So that was a disclaimer. With no further ado, I mean, I don't think I have anything else. I don't think I have any announcement. I meant to say. Nah, that's just it. So let's do what we came here to do. Now, guys, just so you know, with this one here, it's actually a pretty lengthy one. I'm gonna have to break it down, and I'm gonna have to find a way, but I'm gonna have to read it directly from wherever the fuck I got it from. Hold on just a second here, because that is a long one. Okay, let's see what it says here. It says, it's one of the Buddhist quote, and it goes like this. What is evil? Killing is evil. Lying is evil. Slandering is evil. Abuse is evil. Gossip is evil. Envy is evil. Hatred is evil. To cling to false doctrine is evil. I like that one. But anyway, all of these things are evil. And what is the root of evil? Desire is the root of evil. Anyway, we'll get into that. And illusion is the root of all evil. Now, how do I feel about this? But yet, there's a whole lot that is being said here. But the good thing about this quote is that it allows me to delve into, pretty much, because a lot of it is pretty much in alignment with a lot of things that I believe in. I came to understand. So, but anyway, I mean, as you can see here, the whole list: lying, gossiping, and doing all of that. And you could see the similarity if you know anything about what is it called, like the deadly sins. I mean, I can't recall exactly, the exact word for it, but there's some shit about, the deadly sins in terms of. I think, in fact, there was a movie with Morgan Freeman where they were talking about, some of those deadly sins in terms of, let's just say, gluttony. There were so many other things I can't recall. But interesting enough, going back to, to our quote. I mean, okay, so let's get some of the obvious out of the way. Now, I understand what they mean by your desire is the root of our evil. I mean, I understand what is being said, although I didn't get too many details. I mean, as you can see, it was cut dry in terms of that's the root of all evil, right? So, before I even get into it, I mean, I agree. I see a lot of everything that is being said, but when we're really talking about desire, there are some good desires, there are some bad desires, right? So for me, I can't really make it the rule of all evil. But what I think that is being said here, because when you're looking at everything that was being said in terms of lying, in terms of gossiping, in terms of envy, in terms of killing, the one thing you could definitely see here, or I can see for me personally, is that you step outside of yourself. The minute you're not being truthful to you, you're not in connection with the divine qualities that resides in you. That's when lying comes from. That's where killings come from. That's where envy comes from. And because and a lot of these things, and that's what we see in the world that we're living in. And the reason why you're seeing these things is because people are worshiping idols. Because there's no way when you're being truly yourself. Listen, envy is not going to be. You're not going to have envy. In fact, there is such a thing as, what is it? I think the fruit of the spirit, what that is referring to, and he talks about peace, joy, and all that good stuff, right? What this is truly referring to, because the fruit of the spirit is, it's actually making the connection between you and yourself. When you embody God's spirit, meaning the spirit that resides in you decide to follow you, because you cannot be closer to God without being closer to you. So as you getting yourself in alignment with those qualities, and that's gonna be the results of it, pretty much. So the results is you're gonna be happy, you're gonna have peace. You're not gonna be in competition with nobody. You're not gonna be jealous of anybody because you believe in you. When you believe in you and you act in accordance of your values, you don't see these things. For the most part, people who are killing other people or are doing all of these things are stem out of a projection. Pretty much, this is mostly from a negative projection of who they are, especially with gossiping. I mean, the list goes on. Like so now, in terms of that, so when they talking about desire, I mean, I'm thinking in terms of when we're talking about desire, you always desire something that's outside of you. So in that sense, I definitely get it. You know what I'm saying? But desire, it's not limited to just things that are outside of you too. So that's why I was a little bit. But anyway, I get it. If I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what they're referring to, because when you look at everything that was listed, it's everything that's when you're not in touch with you. Now, another thing that was also mentioned that I was a little bit skeptical about, but I still get it. I just feel like it's not, when we're talking about the root, I'm expecting, the root of the roots. I mean, the roots is the root, right? So the last one was illusion is the root of all evil. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that's quite what the fuck it is. I mean, I know sometimes, I speak a lot about a lot of quotes where, I'm usually agreeing with everything, but granted, I'll agree with everything here, but it's just, I'm willing to take it a step further. That's all I'm saying, right? So, illusion in itself, I get it. The roots of all evil, meaning you not having the right perception, you not seeing things correctly for what it is because you don't know who you are. Now, that is the root of it. So, truly, the root of all evil, it's when you don't follow yourself, when you're not in alignment with who you are, and also simultaneously, and you're not in connection with God. Those divine qualities, when you're not in touch with these things, which is yourself. Now, that is the root of all evil. Because you only come, like the competitions, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to show other people what you got. Like, this is your fucking life. Why don't you live it for you? Are you alive? you know what I'm saying? So, to me, the true root of all evil is the minute you step outside of you. The minute you don't worship God, meaning those divine qualities that resides in you, you don't embody that. That's the root of all the roots of all evils. But I get what is being said here. Illusion to me is not the root of all evil. Like, illusion is just what it is. Because, like we always say, right? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, illusion is, what I'm saying? I mean, I have something that I'm working on, so I don't want to speak too much on that. But, well, I mean, yes, I'll give you guys a little bit. Okay, okay. So, illusion, pretty much, the Indian called this world Maya, and Maya means illusion. Out of that illusion, because I feel like a lot of us, because you also have to understand this, knowing who you are and knowing the truth will set you free. So the illusion is only an illusion because you don't know who you are. So not knowing who you are, that is the root of all evil. You not living in accordance to those divine qualities in you, that's the rule of all evil. And that's what you're gonna see. The people who are gossiping, lying, killing, and all that shit. They all come like that kind of quality. They all come together. It's like that's the total package. You know that's the package. The minute you don't worship the true God that resides in you, those qualities, those divine qualities, the minute you don't materialize these things, because the fruit of the Spirit, if you know anything about that, what that means. It means pretty much the fruit of the Spirit. Once you embrace those divine quality of you, then you start seeing, yourself as a spirit. Another way of saying that, you seeing God in you. And that allows you to see other people. It allows you also to see through the fucking illusion. So now when you look at other people, you wouldn't be envy. Why would you envy of anybody if it's this it's a low, it's a low self-confidence. It's a low self-esteem thing. And self-esteem comes with self. The flip side of that, a lot of those people who envy and all that, their self-image becomes their self-esteem. Meaning what they look like, what they appear to be like, what they possess, that is their image. You wearing your Gucci shit, that's your image. And if you know anything about happiness, or if you ever read any quote about happiness, there's nothing outside that's going to make you happy. temporarily, yes. The minute you have it, it's gone. Then you're gonna have to chase some more. It's a never-ending. I mean, you chasing your own tail. So that's why we understand true happiness comes within. That's you acknowledging those divine qualities in you. This is you being in alignment with that. So again, I kind of like wanted to touch on these things first because that was my only thing with it. But yet, I still don't feel like it's taken away. I mean, again, it's not taking anything away from this quote because the quote is pretty heavy. Oh yes, there's a whole bunch of wisdom here that we're going to unpack because there's a lot that's being said here. But most importantly, if you're looking at the structure, right? So they telling you this is what evil is, and then it gets to the root of all evil. And now, I guess the only thing is with those last two, the root of all evil is desire, or maybe the root of all evil is illusion. I'm replacing this by saying the true root of all evil is the minute you're not in alignment with you. The second you're not in alignment with you. And not being in alignment with you, that's what I call now you worshiping idols. And the word worship, so just so you guys know too, what that is referring to, it's what you do on a regular basis. Like you worshiping, it's either you worshiping God or you worshiping the devil. Meaning, your perspective, your understanding, and what you investing in. To worship God, like for me, like I invest in it. That's my life. It's not a weekly thing. It's an every second thing. It's like the air that I'm breathing thing. So I'm saying all of that to say the root of all evil truly is the second you're not in alignment with you. And you cannot, let's just say, and that's why even when we talk about God, God is a fucking internal business. You can't tell me about God like we could come together with the understanding that we have, with the experiences that we have, with the testimonies that we have. Then we could share these things. But ultimately, that's why salvation, you can only, you can't, save nobody. You can only save you. So again, it's not taking away anything from that, but in fact, it's adding to it by replacing those two things. So I kind of like wanted to, address that first. Okay, now that's out of the way. Now let's unpack a lot of the shit that is being said. So as I was saying, when you're looking at all of these things, gossiping, and isn't that the world that we're living in? And all that shit, the lying on people, and all that shit. These are all evil shit. And it's funny sometimes you see people who does evil shit. You know what I'm saying? They always look at other people as being evil. Again, the negative projection. That's why people always tell you the truth. You gotta listen and know and have discernment. But anyway, I mean, that's, again, this is not to address other people, but it's for you to acknowledge and understand what's taking place, what's in front of you. And this is why, too, like, you can never lose when you go within. If you're true to yourself, you can never be false to nobody. I mean, they may not like who you become, they may not like you, but you're not being false to them, though. But when you're being false to who you are, you can never be true to nobody. And that's why you'll see too people who are not truly, who doesn't embrace who they are. Come on, man, they liars all day, every day, because they don't know how to be who they are. So when we're looking at all the evil shit that is taking place, that is truly because when you understand the society that you're living in, how you were, raised, how you were, what I'm saying? Like we were brought up pretty much to in our society, you were trained to live your life based on who you should be, not who you are. So that's why I always tell people, like, there's no coincidence. Like, the world that we're living in, I mean, that's what makes it insane. It's almost like, I mean, we have a bullshit foundation, and then yet we're expecting something good to come out of it. Then now you have cops, you have police, you have all this shit in a world where the foundation is already set up for you to be who the, like, for you to have greed. Like, greedy people, like, society builds us to be that way. What do you say? You got to go get it. You got to get the bag. You got to do whatever the fuck it is. Your identity now, I mean, it becomes that. You're worshiping idols on a regular. Yo, this shit is crazy. But that's I mean, that's the what insanity. You do you notice, like, this is what those movies are trying to get you to see. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting something good to come out of it. It's to have the school system that we have, the political parties, and all that shit that we have, and then yet there you go fighting for that. But most importantly, you're expecting something good to come out of it. Whereas people have come forth over and over, not just myself. I mean, listen, I'm just, I just picked up the actual baton, doing the work that my ancestors did. They got to see things better. They sharing the shit with the world. Well, guess what the fuck I'm doing? I got to see it. I got the clarity in my vision, and now I'm sharing that with you. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say it's like it's there's a reason why, what I'm saying, like, people don't know what they like. You talk to anybody, but yet it's something they already know. But yet they're being blocked to even be in touch with that because they were not trained to embrace who they are. And listen, man, anybody who's anybody, and you'll see anybody who ever made any type of success, who transformed whatever the fuck, they all will tell you the same thing. I had to believe in me. And of course, some of them would say they believe in God too. I mean, it sounds good. I understand what they're saying. I would have said the same thing too. However, I know what I mean by it. Just like, because I remember I was listening to Tyler Perry. He was saying, like, somebody asked him, about your success. This nigga said, it's all the grace of God. I mean, I definitely get it, and I would have said the same thing too, regardless of the amount of work that I put in. But unfortunately, I mean, if I was the guy who was doing well, if I was the interviewer, I probably would have asked him, "What do you mean? Tell me more." You know? Tell me more. But if you're looking at it from the outside, this nigga was determined. He wasn't taking no for a fucking answer. He went and do shit his own fucking way. Oh, this thing got balls. You know what I'm saying? And he knew exactly what target audience was too. This nigga wasn't doing shit for no white people, for no big generation nigga shit. Medea. Hey girl, what's going on? And all that shit. Not giving a fuck for nobody. This nigga's selling out fucking stadiums and all that shit. And the actual determination that he had. And then if you listen to early on, like how, he had to do everything himself, regardless of what it was. He was homeless, but nigga kept going. So is that the grace of God? I mean, to like for me, I would say yes, because I understand the true meaning of God too. Because there's no God without you. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't sit around and doing nothing. Like, oh, it's like the way you guys would say you don't deserve anything. And then to be getting shit. This nigga was putting the work in. He could call it whatever he likes. That's his life. Hey. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So even when we're talking about God too, like however you want to put it, there's no God without you. Without your input. Without your testimony. Without you accepting it. That's why if I tell you I believe in voodoo right now and you believe in Christ, fuck all my voodoo shit and my gods or my pantheon of gods. Like it doesn't mean anything to you. And like I always tell people too, and I'm always and I'm being honest too by saying that. Like if you were to ask me, like, is God greater than me? I would say yes. I would say yes. Now, where you and I could be a little bit, we could go our separate ways now. It's when, as I'm saying yes, I also acknowledge I'm the one saying yes to it. Because God's mean nothing without you. But also, I also understand too, by me embracing God, and that's why I need God to be in my life, I'm experiencing a deeper aspect of myself on all fucking plane, on all levels. And that's why I always tell people too. And I think I can't recall, I think it was either Voltaire or Alexandre Dumas who talked about, if God didn't exist, nigga, you need to create him. I get it. But just so you guys know too, I mean, I'm speaking on okay, so I guess I guess I was doing that. I was dumbing it down, right? I'm doing my best. Um, yeah, so again, the acknowledgement of God, it comes with you. And whenever we talking about God, it's always gonna come from your personal experience, my friend. So again, like me, I see what you see, but I also acknowledge me. That's the only difference. Well, which is also a world of difference too. You know what I'm saying? That little extra that makes it extraordinary. Well, that little extra, it's a whole lot. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say again, going back to all the spirit, the divine qualities. When you embody those divine qualities in you, when you love yourself, you love God. You're not gonna be envy of nobody, man. Jealousy it's not a thing you do. It's not a thing at all. When you following the spirit, or when you following God, or you following yourself. Because jealousy always stems out of something that you do not have, and then you want it, nobody else can have it. You gotta have it. Or if somebody else gonna have it, well, I mean, but you got it too. It's a competitive thing. It's like for me too. Like I have suffered that. Like people always compete with me when I don't even know. Like, I'm busy living my life while other people are trying to compete with me. This is evil. While I'm about my Father's work, meaning the connection that God is in me and I'm in God, being in alignment with me, and that and when you identify yourself with that, well, that's when you get the fruit of the Spirit, which is peace. What you have is what you have. In fact, congratulations, my friend. That's peace, nigga. What you eat, does what you eat make me shit? No, it do not. It does not. And as a result, that's why I always tell people too, illusion, going back so I get what he was saying, this is the illusion. The illusion is because you're not looking at it correctly. But that is because you don't know who you are. You don't know the truth. When you know the truth, then you know you are the truth. And when you also know that you are the truth, guess what it does? It sets you free. It's setting you free. That means from material bondage, from competition, from envy motherfuckers, from killing, uh, from that whole list. Gossiping, like what the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine I'm living my life gossiping, man? Like, what? Nigga, what? Why would I give a fuck about you? Doesn't make sense. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't admire something about other people, but yet even my admiration for anything that you do, again, I understand there's a direct relation or relationship, between that I see, again, a positive projection. And to master your kingdom too, and I have something coming on that because a lot of it will be touching on some of these things, and that's why I didn't want to, I wanted that, to be part of that video, and for it does what it does. But again, it's all connected too. It's all connected. I mean, when you know who you are, when you're in alignment with you, that allows you to love other people too. Like I always tell people, like the difference between selfish and self-love is a world of difference. And I always like to take a minute to talk about it because a lot of people don't understand the difference. Being selfish, there's no internal values. You're only looking at the external. Yes, you're talking about the self. I mean, selfish. But it's not loving yourself though. It's being concerned with just the external material, and that's why you see people who are being selfish, they don't care if they step on you. Whereas from a self-loving perspective, this is when I realize those divine qualities in me, and I also understand and I know the connection between me and you. So now, I mean, I'm not saying money's bad. If I'm getting money, nigga, we all can eat together. Can you imagine how big the world is, and then for me to just eat and just fuck everybody? Like, I mean, what is there to even gain out of that? But just losing. You're not getting better. You're not empowering anybody else. It's like, it's just crazy. And ironically, if you know anything about anything, even the people who will help you, that's why hard work, recognize hard work. That's why people who do hard work, meaning they understand they had to apply themselves, they always respect another man who does hard work, man. But it's always the hater who's not putting the work in who they are, who's not working hard, and because of that, they become delusional because they don't see reality. because they're going by this fucking image. You live in a fictional life. You think you know everybody, you don't know shit. Not even, you can't even see in front of you. And these are the idiots. And this is, this is where that's truly is the root of all evil. And these are the motherfuckers now who's gonna hate on you, who's gonna be lying, gossiping, what was it, killing, and all that other shit that I don't even want to know. That these motherfuckers do. And if you know, well, again, I mean, being in alignment with you allows you to have a better perspective of what's in front of you. And in so many words, that's all exactly what Jesus was also saying too. Because when you true to yourself, right? So when you don't compete with other people, then you being yourself. That's when you realize, motherfuckers. Do you know what they're doing? They're looking to compete with people or showing off in front of people who don't even give a fuck about them. Because at the end of the day, even regardless on that's why anxiety and depression is always going to be there, because at the end of the day, regardless of how fake you are, I mean, you're still going to have to deal with you. How about them apples? And that's why a lot of these motherfuckers at night, regardless of how much money they got, the anxiety, the depression is always going to be there. The envy is always going to be there. I mean, you may not envy this person, or you done with this, but you're gonna envy somebody else. It's a never ending process because you're chasing your own fucking tail. Now you're projecting that shit on other people. That's really what it comes down to. So again, when we talking about the root of all evil, it's truly you not being in connection with your true self. This is you not being in connection with God, because God is within you. And by the way, my next recording is gonna be about the spiritual kingdom. Let that marinate, because again, when we talk about the fruit of the spirit, it's peace, joy. What else? That's the list I should definitely know. But again, I'm too busy living it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the point is not for me to repeat it. The point is, and has always been, for me to be it. So forgive me if I don't remember a couple of them. Or maybe possibly the whole fucking list. Who give a fuck? If you understand what this is for the great listeners too. And that's also another reason too. The people who have truly embodied their divinity, like that's why we don't, like, are you ethical or not? Like, what is that? Like, do you see what I'm saying? And never claim to be fucking ethical neither. But don't worry about it. Nobody has to watch me. I know what I'll do what I need to do. And besides, how do you have integrity if you don't embrace yourself anyway? And that's why I always tell you guys too, the whole idea, the whole political bullshit in terms of to be humble, not to acknowledge your values, or to devalue yourself. I mean, there's no actuality in it. Now, you want to talk about myth, something that does not exist? That shit is one of them. But it makes you feel better. It's a political bullshit. Anybody who has ever accomplished anything, they have to have the self-confidence. Or if they didn't have it from the beginning, they had to work on that. Call it God, call it, inspire me, whatever the fuck. I mean, if you believe in God, or if you living in God, well, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. It's gonna be you and God working together. You again, I mean, if you want to go with the political shit, or if you still somehow want to devalue yourself, well, nigga, like if it was a, I mean, if we're going back to the Tyler Perry, right? If there was so much of a grace of God, nigga, like, why did you have to work so hard? So therefore, you telling me the grace of God comes with your work too. It comes with you being with your determination, with your hard work, with your confidence that you had to have, because he was the only one doing what he was doing while nobody else was doing that. And this nigga was so fucking confident. I mean, because he said some shit. I don't know. Maybe he did find some sort of deal at the very beginning, right? That wasn't the right deal. And then he was saying, "Damn, nigga, I'm gonna have Medea 5, Medea 6, Medea 7. I know, nigga, I get it. You sucking your own dick." Like I always tell people, suck your own dick, by the way. Yes, Diddy on that one. Take that, take that, take that. But for the dummies, what this is referring to, if you have profanity mind, then you'd be stuck in just the dick sucking aspect. But if you go a little bit beyond that, then you understand it has nothing to do with you sucking your physical dick. But again, you suck your dick however you suck it. It's your dick, nigga. Anyway, going back to the root of our evil, man. And that's what makes our world now, because you're not in alignment with you, now the illusion becomes a problem. But again, the illusion in itself, that's why for me, it's not the root of our evil. The illusion is just the illusion. It does what it does. Because understand this, we are the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So meaning, what is your level of vibration? What is beauty to you? Because that's what's going to determine what beauty is. So again, I mean, those are my niggas. I fuck with I fuck with the Buddhist. And again, I mean, again, like it's not off at all. I'm just taking it a step deeper. I mean, I'm just going a little bit deeper here, and that's what us ascended masters we understood. We were never concerned about Earth. That's why we keep coming back. We keep coming back to help others, because us knowing the truth and knowing the truth of what it is, you automatically transcend. Like Earth, that's like you saying social media is fucking people up. No, that's not true. I mean, it may have some impact on people. I get it. That's like you saying Facebook is a problem. No, you're the problem. Or distraction is a problem. No, man. I mean, when are you gonna become your own disciples? Because if you're saying it's a problem, I could tell you it's not a problem for me, and I could tell you million and zillion of other people that shit is not a problem for, who still focus, who still do what they got to do. So again, I'm not saying this is the best thing ever, but you got to become in alignment with you, man. I mean, are you gonna curse the darkness because there's no light, or you gonna get the light? Are you gonna get your own candle, or are you gonna be like, man, this darkness is all fucked up and shit? Nobody does that. Nigga, I was born in Haiti. Well, I don't know where I was born, but I lived in Haiti. I lived in Haiti, right? So I mean, nobody worry. Like, we live with the darkness, nigga. If you got to get a lamp, well, when it's at night, you better get a lamp if you want to see. Do you want to see? fuck social media, man. How is that fucking you up? How? How, Sway? How, Sway? How is that fucking you up? You don't curse the darkness, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have light. You find the light. You don't have to curse anybody. Find the light if you want to see. You want to see? You know what I'm saying? All right. If you want to see, you saying fuck the darkness. How's that going to help you? If I were to tell you right now, fuck social media, fuck Facebook, all that shit is distraction for you guys, how is that helping you? It doesn't make sense. The only thing that's going to help you is you. You know what I'm saying? You want to help you? Well, help you. That's how it goes. The fuck? So again, going back, I love that whole. I mean, in fact, I'm talking about it, but I just wanted to take it a step deeper. I wanted to go a little bit further to let you know that I understand everything they just said, but the true root of all evil is the second you are not in connection with you, because now you're keeping up with the Joneses. You got a flaw. Shit. You got to show people what you got. You know what I'm saying? Worshipping idol again. You're seeking for validation. All of that shit, which is the actual society that we are living in. And all of that stems from the idea of you being trained in accordance to who you should be instead of who you are. Now that is the root of all evil. And out of that, because you got to maintain this fucking image, that's where all the lies are coming from. The envy, the jealousy. And because now you're looking at, and by the way, guys, check out my recording, because I talk about that. I already talk about it. In terms of, your haters, jealousy, they never see the hard work. These people, they always look at the end results. That's because you're not going in. You identify yourself with the fucking material, because the nigga who's doing the hard work, I know when another motherfucker's working hard, because I have, again, this is where the self-love comes in too, and that's why loving yourself is powerful, because it helps you to embrace those divine qualities, and as you do so, now you could see it in other people. But if you don't see it in you, you're not gonna see it in other people. If you're not applying yourself, you're not working hard, how the fuck you going to acknowledge another motherfucker's working hard? Well, that's the foundation for your haters. That's what your haters does. But understand, all your haters, they're not hard workers. And that's why I don't even worry about these motherfuckers. And if anything, too, that's going to be, I'm not going to go there. Because I got a mouth full for that one. You know what I'm saying? So, again, the root of all evil is the second you're not in alignment with you. And the minute you're not in alignment with you, listen, and all hell break loose. You being selfish and all that shit. We're living in a world, we're legalized being greedy, nigga. And I always talk about this, and I had to check myself too, because I remember the first time I was watching the Dave Chappelle shit, when he was talking about the contract that he had. Nigga, he was 18 years old. As a kid, you want to make it big. You had this, you're inspired to do this, inspired to do that, and then you have predators that are preying on you. This shit's crazy. And it's a contract, and that shit, the law said, hey, man, you should have known better. Nigga, I'm 18 years old. Oops. Nobody's fault. Is that your signature? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Now, I get the whole political aspect of it. You don't want to be too involved. I understand your freedom. You don't want it to be too involved. There's certain things that could, you know, evoke other things. When you do this, granted, get it, but none of it make it any better though. I mean, it's all. It sounds good, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with the evil shit truly. But most importantly, and this is also why I wanted to talk about this quote, although I may have my little, you know, thing about it. Again, it's not going against it. But most importantly, too, what this shit is really talking about in terms of being evil, it's really letting you know it's not something that's outside of you. It's really telling you, yo, you lying, you gossiping, you the fucking evil. Because that's what you're doing. Like, how can you do anything good? Let's just say, if anybody is somehow, you know, like getting other people to fucking gossip. That in itself is evil. But that's also because the person doing it is fucking evil. But also, if you want to get to the root of all that shit, this evil motherfucker never embrace who they are. That's why they steal, they kill, they want to get other people's shit. Well, everybody's working hard. Where's your hard work? Your hard work now consists of stealing other people's shit. This shit's crazy. Do you have a life? Your life is to live other people's life? Trash. It couldn't be me, bro. Can't be me. Like, there's no. And then these are the people too, who's pretending to have values. What kind of value is that? You cannot have no values. You know, shit like when you're not in alignment with you. You just want to use other people's shit so other people could like you. Damn. Damn. And you think you the shit? Damn. Can you imagine if all of us, and that shit happened too, right? Can you imagine if you realize all Jay-Z songs was not from Jay-Z? And better yet, Jay-Z don't even sound the way Jay-Z sound. Like, do you see how trash that shit would be? It's the same thing that what is it? Mini Vanilli? These niggas went through, man. What are you adding? Like you a lie. You like and when every and here's the shit too. There, I mean, when you're not in alignment with you, it's like you always already like everybody can see how false you are too. So now what you gotta do, you become a deceiver, meaning you have a front, but in reality, you're trash. And here's the thing, you can never hide it. It's like you see a pig, when a pig has lipstick, or you could put glasses. No matter how you dress it up, a pig's gonna be a pig, dog. They gonna oink. You know what I'm saying? And the way you gonna oink is gonna be in your actions sooner or later, baby. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing too. Regardless on how long you've been lying, you thinking you're getting away. I mean, no, you're not. What's gonna happen is, yo, the harder you come, the harder you're gonna fall. The longer you've been getting away with fucking lies and all that shit, the harder you're gonna fall. And that's what you don't know. Mm. It's gonna be a lot of head rolls. It's gonna be a lot of people going like this. Mm-mm-mm. Is really? Yeah, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying all that to say, guys, when it comes to the root of all evil, when you're looking at the society that we're living in, it really comes down to this: people who worship God, meaning who worship or who has a close connection with who they are and God, and those people are what you call the righteous one. Because of that connection, because of those divine quality in me, you could turn off the light. I don't need your validation. I'm still gonna be doing the right thing because of that connection that I have, because of those integrity, these things that I have embodied. And when you do so, now it allows you to see, to look at people beyond what they have. Now you're making a human connection with people, and that's why there is such a thing as emotional intelligence, and you might want to look into it. But that emotional intelligence is being emotionally balanced, but most importantly is to understand, people emotionally. Is to have that emotional understanding of people. Because the true reality is that's really what it's going to come down to. And that's why you'll see, like, shit, nigga, we should have, to be honest, we should have a shrink, like, in every street, every corner. And this is why, too, this work is very important. So again, the biggest thing that was being said here is for you to acknowledge that evil, it's you. It's manifested in your actions. Now you could call it being possessed by a certain spirit. I mean, it's all fair game. It's all part of the game. Well, first of all, you are a spirit to begin with. We are this living thing. That's why our lives, is heavily, depends on how you see things, your understanding, the knowledge that you have. And then it really comes down to, isn't that the reason why we understand, although we need to eat and drink, dick and pussy, but yet for you to thrive as a human being, you got to feed your mind. And that's where, every man, you got to have the word of God. You got to have the wisdom of God. Because just for you to function or even to be okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be just a regular human being, dog, you got to embrace that side of you. But again, the biggest thing that was being said here, fuck what I said earlier, fuck everything else. The root of all evil, truly, it's not it's truly the separation between you and God and you and yourself. And the minute you become in alignment with anything else that is not you, that's the root of all evil. And this is also goes to tell you, you know what I'm saying, like those evil things. And when you understand that too, that's why for me, I always have compassion. But now don't get it fucked up. Compassion, meaning I understand why you do what you do. But that doesn't mean whatever you do, you're not gonna. Oh man, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, you crazy. I know for me, like I'll give you a perfect example. Like when I see certain things, like when I nigga. Hmm. um. Anyway, let's go back to what we're talking about. I just want go back. Let's go back to what we're talking about, right? So again, it's a must because now we always talk about evil. We always have this understanding of evil being outside of us. Again, because we have this external perspective of us. But when you start looking at anybody and everybody who's in alignment with them, with their inner self, our definition of evil is always going to be different. I want you to pay attention to it. It's always going to be different. Different in the sense of it's always going to be like closer to you. And not necessarily of your true self, neither. Because that's where my compassion comes in too. I understand. I mean, because I see, nigga, namaste, meaning I see the God in you, even when you don't see it. But because you're not in alignment with that, listen, everybody got to put up with their own work, man. That's everybody, including me. Everybody. And at the same time, what I eat don't make you shit. Because if I'm such a good person, why didn't that make you a good person too? So what I eat don't make you shit. Why the fuck would I shit? What the fuck you eating, nigga? What I eat don't make you shit. And you think I'm gonna shit what you eating? Hey, every man for his, you know what I'm saying? Like having compassion is for myself. Forgiving is for myself. But what you gotta pay though, you gotta pay it. Oh, straight up. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just another way to let niggas know too I'm coming. Cause you know, like, ironically, I bring the gospel, but I also give the bad news too. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? For you, I hope this is good news for you. But for others too, it is what it is. Because you also got, and that's what Jesus was too. Jesus was bad news with these other motherfuckers. Isn't that the reason why they did what they did? But they didn't know this nigga cannot die though. He resurrected. It's fair game. If you're gonna turn down, nigga, I'm turning all the way up now. Oh man, this is just the beginning. Nigga, I'm getting so comfortable now. You have no fucking idea. You know what I'm saying? You better keep the same energy because I'm on mine. You out of your mind. That's why I tell them, do your worst, man. Keep working. Do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Because when I know I'm doing what I gotta do. If that's not clear enough, I don't know what is. Because I'm doing what I gotta do. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, as a spiritual healer, I hold the mirror of conscience to those who needs it, and the mirror of wisdom to those who also needs it. It's your choice. How you dancing? Do your best, man. Hey, you gotta try. Hey, go to Africa. Go get somebody. I don't know. Do what you gotta do, dog. Do what you gotta do. I'm doing what I gotta do. And no turning back. It's up. It's all the way up. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, guys, and because all of us who's going through this path, this is what you're gonna have to encounter too, because ultimately you're dealing with spirit, and dealing with spirit, when people don't embrace who they are, they're gonna be who they are anyway. But the thing about embracing who you are is that it allows you to filter. It allows you now to adapt the Christ mentality to purify your existence and your environment. And that's how you get to see things, and that's how you truly see things for what they are. You're not being delusional. Not because of the illusion. The illusion is going to do what it does. The darkness is gonna do what it does. You got two options. You can curse the darkness if you like, or you can find a candle. Me, nigga, I'm looking for candles. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is where too, your perspective means a lot. It really comes down to your perspective. That's why I always tell people, it's not how much you see, man. It's how you're looking at it. It's never quantity. And I've been telling a certain fool, I'm giving the fools the games, but they can never get it because the game is not meant for them to get it. Even, they getting the ass whooped and I'm telling them the truth. Yo, this is hilarious. I'm experiencing life on a whole other level, man. Like it's just it couldn't be any clearer than that. You know what I'm saying? It can't be any better than that. So again, the whole delusional aspect, all of that shit stems from you not being you. So that is truly the root of all evil. You could talk about money all you. Some people say lack of money. Some people say, money in itself is the root of all evil. You say, I guess we can all say whatever we like. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell you this much too. There are honest people out there. You have people who has integrity. That money, they're not gonna suck dick for money. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I mean, shit, nigga. I've been broke all my life. So what, nigga? You know what I'm saying? If anything, I suck my own dick, and I suck my dick even better. You know what I'm saying? And so what? But when you know who you are, come on, bro. Come on, man. That's truly what it comes down to. And the whole aspect too of you knowing who you are. That's why. Anyway, you gotta check out Lespri, man, because I got. Oh man, I got something coming, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Well, I mean, I always give you guys the best, just so you guys know. But it's in the eye of the beholder. Man? And I speak in authority too because I know what I know. I'm not speaking out of ignorance. Obviously, I embrace both ignorance and the light. That's how I know I'm not speaking out of ignorance. Because I see the big picture. I'm not one sided. Most people who speaking out of ignorance, they're all one sided. They don't, well, shit, nigga. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? How do you judge a man by looking at it from one side? You can't. Your judgment's not going to be right. I mean, to fully judge a man, listen, let's bring in the fucking evidence. Let's bring all of it. Then you make your judgment. But anyway, guys, I'm saying all of that to say, that was such a powerful statement because one of the main thing, this statement was trying to get you to acknowledge is that everything that is taking place in this world, regardless of the lying, the gossiping, everything that you guys are trying to fight or trying to tell other people to be better. Meanwhile, we have a society that's conditioning niggas or people not to be who they are. You telling me not to be who I am, but yet not to compete with the Joneses? How is that? I mean, how is that working? I don't know. It's just amazing to me. But anyway, if it's even if that's even working, I'm amazed. But anyway, so it's to get you to acknowledge the very thing that we all saying or we're trying to fight, trying to make the world a better place. It's more than that. It's I wouldn't say the illusion, but how do you? What would be the remedy for you not keeping up with the Joneses? It has to be you. It would have to be yourself. And only then, when you do that too, that's when you always get to admire another man. My admiration for people like who changes, who became who nigga. Like I love Mike Tyson, nigga. I mean, I don't know the dude. No homo. I mean, no Didi. You know what I'm saying? It's none of that shit. But because I understand the work that I put into myself, then when you look at somebody like that, came from wherever the fuck that nigga came from, and then now who has a voice, who's making sense, who we all saw his transformation, but he didn't rape anybody. No one is talking about that. I mean, no one is talking about him because But the hospital shit, that's what you're gonna talk about. But what about his transformation? I mean, shit. Like I mean, you're looking at a motherfucker that came from being a stupid nigga, like a nigga to like to, to the max, and having the ability now to turn all that shit around, my nigga. I love you, King. Again, but I can only acknowledge that because it takes one to know one. And not just him, everybody else. I mean, again, I'm just using him too, in a way of he's a popular figure. I mean, to make a point for educational purposes. But there's a lot of other people like that in the world. People who are writing books, people who have transformed their life, niggas like me, and other people who believes in that kind of shit. Not just believing in nothing. It's who is the belief, who now become the faith for other people. Because when you manifesting in that sense, by you being who you are, that's the best gift you can ever give to anybody. Isn't that what that gift Jesus is to you? If you understand it. But anyway, um, to summarize, damn, it's already past a fucking hour. But pretty much to summarize here, guys, the root of all evil is the second you are not in alignment with you. It's the second you don't embrace yourself. You have no self confidence. You have no peace within you. You're seeking, in that sense, desire that's outside of you, not conquering yourself. The minute you do that, and this is where all this killing comes from. People who are selfish, who don't know who they are, not in touch with who they are, they don't give a fuck about other people. Some people would laugh at other people's demise. Like for me, even my enemies, I don't even laugh at what the fuck they going through. I know a lot of them are keeping that shit silent too, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not me laughing at you. I just know what I know, and I'm laughing at whatever the fuck you think, nigga. This is what is there to enjoy, man. But there's no way out of it, too, though. We all gotta step. We all gotta put up to what we do. We all have to answer to our actions. That's all of us. It is what it is. That's what you do. Oh my God, I don't know why you did that. You know that's why yo this bitch in that fucking emoji right there, yo, that's one of my best fucking emojis, dog. Like if this bitch like, hey, I mean, I get you, but that's what you did. You want me to suffer for you? Get the fuck out of here. I'm nowhere near none of what these motherfuckers ever done. You want me to feel your pain? Did you feel my pain? Hey, Wayne, did you feel my pain? Or were you laughing? Or you thought you had it? I shit. Fucker.